Hey everyone, Derek here with a quick news update on Nintendo President Shuntaro Furukawa and his recent interview with Nikkei. Now we already did a smaller update about this earlier, but there's been more information put out there thanks to Japanese Nintendo and his translation by Black Kite. So we're going to go over some of the highlights from this interview, even though nothing too major is really said. One of the key things he comments about right away is that ever since joining Nintendo, he's been told that games are not life essential products. Basically, they need to convince people that they should be playing these games and they're not needed for life, so you really have to sell them and know that competition is going to be fierce. So for him, innovation is making something that many people thought impossible with common sense possible, and that's how he's been going forward. So regardless of the technological environment of the world, those who develop games first create content that they think consumers will want to obtain and play. After that, if there is a technology that is useful for that, they'll adopt it. And he uses the DS as an example, as touchscreens became widely used after the introduction of the Nintendo DS. So he likes to put forth the idea that games are the testbed of new technologies that then get used by the rest of society. And this is where his comments on cloud gaming comes in, where he believes that it will gain in popularity within 10 years, but at this point he doesn't think dedicated consoles will disappear. He still believes that there are ways to polish the gameplay that are only possible in dedicated consoles, and it'll be over for them if people are content that these games can be played on other game consoles or even smartphones. So to that end, Nintendo's fixation is with creating new creative gameplay, not creating hardware. The creative gameplay they're aiming for at this point can be produced because of the structure where they develop the hardware and software in unison. He believes that it's because they have developers of hardware and software meet up in the same building enables them to create the best experiences. And to that end, he actually stays pretty hands-off when it comes to what the developers are doing. He believes that it's most important for him to manage the company while properly maintaining an environment where the creators can act as freely as they want. He doesn't want to interfere with their content, and in the creation process there would be no added value if he did because he does not come from the development division. So interfering would just cause more problems, and he'd prefer to leave it to the professionals of that subject. And finally, when asked about the importance of the Japanese market in regard to the declining birth rate of the country and how that means there's less young people to grasp onto these new games, he believes that makes it all the more important to create products that can be received by a broad range of generations. If they have that, no matter how the market changes, it would be accepted by a lot of people. So overall, Furukawa seems to have a lot of good ideas about the industry and how to guide Nintendo. I like the idea that he doesn't really interfere with his developers, he just lets them do their thing, but also firmly believes that hardware and software goes hand in hand, and letting the two talk can create some amazing experiences. He seems like a pretty smart guy, and we're still learning more about him as he guides Nintendo into the future, but what do you think of this interview? Be sure to read the full thing in the links below, and of course be sure to subscribe to Game Explained for more on Nintendo and other things gaming as well. Until next time, bye!